Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This is episode 90E. It's the 159th episode, 0x9e. Apologies for any delays. This is my laptop still. Don't have my machine out yet. Reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice. And stay tuned after all of the updates for a 3-question AMA. I think there are some good questions this week. So this first, the first segment, number go up, is energy prices in Europe. Of course, with war and everything else, political, they're trying to, or they are trying to, but one way or another, energy prices are going up pretty badly in Europe. And I saw some crazy charts, I think, from France over the weekend. That were just spiked up like in the old Bitcoin days. And I think it's probably headed for the US as well, depending upon what happens. But wanted to talk about the reason for the number go up, because there was a great post in the Hacker Noon layer on Den about the fact that a lot of crypto is seemingly devoid of the original hacker ethos or the cypherpunk side of things that used to be there. And that's the reason that we really created the, quote unquote number go up thing. And the phrase has been copied around, and yet it's primarily from us at least, as a joke, that, or at least a way to point out that a lot of crypto, if not all of it, has lost its way, in my opinion. That if you were actually looking at it and either going for adoption, bringing real capabilities to the world, or bringing real privacy or freedom or liberty to your money, or otherwise for the revolution itself, to try to basically make happen historically something greater than the Industrial Revolution. That's what crypto is there for, and it's largely been co-opted by people that just want to be bankers, or already are bankers most of the time. Sometimes to destroy it, sometimes to benefit financially while they're destroying it. But one way or another, the technology is a threat to much of the infrastructure that's out there. And people need to realize that the value of that crypto comes not from, it's digital gold, or it's a thing that already exists in this world. And here's an analogy. It is that it is very different and much more powerful than what already exists, and trying to shoehorn it into the regulatory frameworks or the ways of the current world is a mistake, in my opinion, and not even just a mistake philosophically for liberty, but even in my opinion, it is a mistake for value. If you are literally only interested in number go up is not the way to get there. So anyway, capabilities and technology should be the most important thing, and that's what will make the price go up separately. So I don't know. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face, and I'm going to keep saying it. But some people don't like it, but that's the truth, and we all need to kind of pay attention to that, because that's the other side. Number go up is what leads to all the BS that then draws us back and costs us years in adoption. So, you talk about the Luna and Celsius and all of those other things. Those things just set us back like crazy. Anyway, now we go to Dragonchain updates, and we will talk about, there is an advanced identity systems blog that is now up, and it basically is a high-level discussion about the importance of identity and how blockchain and Dragonchain in particular sees that, and how it can improve both the privacy aspects required or wanted by individuals, and also for businesses, the reasons that, it reduces liability if you're actually handling identity well. So do go and check that out. It has some use cases in it. It talks about proof of human, an extremely important concept, especially for its ability to measure. It might not be an absolute black-white, but you can say, oh, this is low risk if I assume it's a human, or high risk, things like that. So go check that out, share it. It's important to Dragonchain to get that type of info out. And now we'll go to Den.Social updates. So we have just closed out the August 2022 LCP, and the results are that the top layer proposal by unique voters was Natural Health, which had 70 unique voters. It was proposed by Mikox in December of 2020. Wow, that was geez, that's quite a while ago. The number 5 proposal by most lore committed was Conspiracy Theories, with 611.3 thousand lore committed and 33 unique voters. That was proposed by Fust in October of 2021. And the number 13 by most lore committed was Anime and Manga, with 417,000 lore committed and 31 unique voters, proposed by Pumpers, Denizen Pumpers, in November of 2021. So given that those were selected, those will be created, I believe, next Monday or Tuesday, that you do have the option, any denizen has the option of enacting, sorry, I'm trying to figure out the wording here, enacting one of the alternative layer creation options, one of which is the runners-up option, where depending upon the position in a runners-up based upon rank, it will cost 200 to 1,000 matter. And then there's an alternative creation process where any layer proposal with 8 or more unique lore committers can be created for 2,500 matter. If you want to do, if you want to execute either of those options, the request needs to be in by August 21st, end of day UTC, so 23:59:59 universal time code. Have it in either by Den support. It's documented, so I don't know if you email us or send it to Den support, but let us know one way or another, and it will be created. Next, we have Coffee with Den. They had a week or two off because Distant was on holiday, and they are about to debut a new layer tomorrow, August 17, and they're going to have the show at the same time, which is 900 Eastern, 600 Pacific US time, and in the morning. I'm going to try to be on there tomorrow, sneak in, but apparently they are going to follow something close to the WBRT model, where you can actually get a part of that layer. So do watch, do ask questions, do the things, and you'll get a piece of that new DAO, that layer, that show. Next, we also have a DIN-DAO RFI. It's the first we've done this. So it's a request for information related to the selected priority for engineering, which was to enhance the layer metrics and create a leaderboard or something similar. And essentially this request for information is to get any extra ideas that might be valuable to denizens that should be in a layer metrics system. That is things like, where is most of the energy, positive and or negative, spent on the entire system? Which layers produce the most matter, things like that. And mostly for, handling lot value, but also to help denizens decide, if I have to choose between two layers for a particular post, maybe those metrics will help me decide which layer is the priority, that type of thing. So there are already a bunch of good suggestions in there. I haven't gotten in to make any comments or to write up any questions, but I will be doing that soon. And anyway, so get in there and do that. And then there is a live call for the DIN-DAO meeting, which is Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 UTC. See the post in the DIN-DAO layer for the agenda and a link to join live. All denizens are welcome to join to cover anything about DIN. Questions, comments, feedback, new ideas, or try to figure out how to do something that you want to do with a layer. It's a meeting, it's not a show, so don't be shy. You can come on and not show your picture. You can also post to that, reply to that post with questions or requests to add something to the agenda, that type of thing. So get in there, do that. Now we go to the World Blockchain Roundtable update. Episode 65 will be on Thursday. The topic is going to be implications of blockchain to recorded history. If you can get in there right now, you can leave a question or a subject to discuss. Again, there were some really good, I think, thoughts and questions in there already, but we need more. And then make sure you watch and share last week's episode, which was politics and blockchains, because the more views it gets in its first week, the more lot all of the participants will get. It was an interesting show. And make sure that you vote in the Roundtable DAO if you have any lot, because you've ever asked a question or appeared on the show. It is due next Monday at 5:30 UTC. It's essentially to select the themes for September, next month's shows. So the top post will become shows next month, and that's how the entire DAO operates. So watch this Thursday at 3 p.m. UTC, 8 a.m. Pacific, so on. And that's it. So that's all the updates. We'll go to AMA right after this.
Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our systems are broken, and businesses feel powerless. Dragonchain gives you a different way, a safer way, a better way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at Dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
All right, so we'll get through the questions, and then there's some questions in the comments too. We'll go ahead and hit some of those too. Just they will not be credited for lot, but they will be there. Okay, so first question from Kratos God of Boy. Would it be possible in DIN to propose a layer for marketing Dragonchain and having a DAO decide how the funds are used? I think it would require additional features to be created in DIN. If you go by my version, I'll create a proposal. This can be done. Otherwise, I won't bother. It is definitely possible. There is a marketing strategy for DIN as an example, but it doesn't have any funding aspect or to it. So the thought is that there are a bunch of ways you could do it right now. And there are a bunch of ways that we could probably refine it. In the end, I imagine the vision would be that DIN implements factor so that all denizens have without doing any extra work, because if you've claimed an address, then you already have a key pair that we could use for this right now. You could either use that, or we could say you have to have factor. But either way, if you have a key, you could plug in an escrow account, and you'd have to be very careful about it. But there are various ways to do it, including multi-sig, something like Gnosis or something. But essentially an escrow account that would be able to hold funds and distribute funds as necessary. The other way that you could do it right now would be to say that the layer is a DAO, and the DAO would elect a set of leaders that would all be signers for a multi-sig. Now, there's definite risks there depending upon the configuration of the multi-sig, but you could do that right now. I mean, essentially, DenDAO itself has that functionality where all of the matter held by DenDAO, all of the lore held by DenDAO is in a multi-sig wallet. So you could do something very similar to that. But you'd have to think about the security, and we would help out. I mean, it would make sense. It might even weigh into priorities in the near future. Once it's if it wins, or if you bought it outright, if you turned on a business layer to do this, then it would be doable today, and it could be even better. And we have not focused for DAOs on the financial side of DAOs. Everybody else is doing that, and sometimes it's frustrating because nobody's paying attention to the non-financial, non-payments, non-investment club style DAOs. So, but you could definitely do it with Den today. So, okay, next. Let's see here. Timo the Ward. Would it be possible to use a Dragonchain level 1 business blockchain to write a smart contract on Ethereum? If so, would it be possible for you guys to make a pre-built L1 and market it to current Ethereum developers as a way to build on Ethereum through this L1? It could be a way off here and dreaming. Thanks, Joe. So we have looked way back in the past because people asked very early on, I think maybe even before we were public, that the question around, can we run Ethereum's virtual machine, the EVM, inside of an L1? And yes, you could. You can run anything inside of an L1, so you could definitely do it. You could do it. We have done this or something very directly similar with a private Ethereum node when we were talking to a very large consulting firm about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. And we set that up as a demonstration. I think we put it together in like a week or so. I think the video is still out there demonstrating that. But yes, you can embed it. I don't know if it would be good to sell it to current Ethereum developers, because you tend to get into it. We've seen it before when we've tried to say, hey, you could use this, that you end up in this conversation with maximalists that, ask, well, why wouldn't it be absolutely completely decentralized? And I'm like, well, Ethereum is not absolutely completely decentralized. It's just all a matter of, it's a, and it's not even measurably so. It's hard to know, but with a hybrid chain, you can do all of these things. And it seems to me, I'm not an absolutist on this, but so far, most of the business use cases, or I don't even say business use cases, most of the use cases for Dragonchain and Ethereum, etc., tend to be that you would use Ethereum and an Ethereum smart contract, say, in any case that you need a transparent, fully decentralized, or I say fully decentralized calculation or something to happen, right? What we tend to do is we say that 99% of, in my opinion, 99% of all actual capabilities of the blockchain will in the end be historical. And so watch the roundtable discussion this week. I think, frankly, that is simultaneously the most important aspect of blockchain technology. The most important capability is recorded history, and the most ignored capability of blockchain simultaneously right now. And that essentially Dragonchain captures every single transaction, important and unimportant. Anything that you put on chain is getting by far and away the most hash power on the planet applied to it for security reasons, for proof, for historical proof that you can prove that this is the data and that was the time, right? And on some occasions, like say escrows, it makes really good sense to integrate something like Ethereum or something like Solana or Binance Chain or Bitcoin or anything else that might matter. Privacy coins would be great for that too. If you wanted to set up something that would require a trustless escrow where no one has the control of it, and you can, within reason, predict that your money is safe until consensus occurs and it gets distributed to wherever. There are a couple of other cases, like say, proving that actions are fair, but you can still do that without running a smart contract on Ethereum. So essentially, I don't know if it would be super valuable, but it is definitely possible, and it would be super interesting. I know that. So anyway, sorry, it's a really long answer, but it was a super good question. Next, Jacob Wayne is, okay, this is just a hypothetical, but I am very curious. If I were to change my display name to Josie Wales, and probably Josie Wales is the best Clint Eastwood movie. I don't know, absolutely. You could say Unforgiven, and maybe even Dirty Harry, but probably Josie Wales, at least my favorite. Would anything happen to my previous posts as far as the display name goes? My guess is that on the blockchain, all my posts to that point would still say Jacob Wayne. And I think your guess is wrong, and you can test it, but because you can change your display name, but everything on chain, and I'd have to look, I can't remember absolutely, but everything on chain is pointing to an account reference ID, and I think it's just a UUID. And I think it's the same UUID if you go to your profile page, so it'll show up in your URL. And if you shared your profile page, that UUID, which is a universal unique identifier, and there are algorithms for it. That's why we're using that. That UUID is what is on chain. So when you change your display name, it just maps it, and so all of your old posts will automatically switch to say Josie Wales. So go ahead and do it. I think it'd be good, but it would be interesting. For me, it's really hard because even in the crypto space, people have different IDs on Telegram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Den. And I have just a huge problem tracking who's who. So if ever I don't remember who somebody is, just remember that it's not intentional. So anyway, so that was a good question. Is that all the questions? Is that all of the questions? That is all the questions. Okay, so I saw in here, and so from Arguan Modeth. So when we'll get through these are not credited for a lot because they're not in Den, they're not on chain. It's just inside of this looks like a YouTube comment. Ethereum is still a dumpster fire after the merge. I would actually, and by the way, I have not had the time because I'm in the middle of a move to track some of this. So I'm most anxious about our systems connecting with ETH, and if anything breaks. So far, I've not heard of anything breaking, so I think we're good, but we'll see. But I wonder, because people were commenting recently that Ethereum transactions were actually not that expensive lately, and I wonder if they've gone up after the merge, right? If the merge would have caused more activity, and maybe they're even higher. But Cosmos Dot or Cardano for reliability, security, efficiency, speed. Okay, it's always a mix, right? In my opinion, none of them are scalable, and it's all a matter of network, and they're all Many of them. There are some of them that have some very unique models, especially the privacy coins. But a lot of them, Binance Chain is what, a literal copy of Ethereum, correct? I think, if I'm not incorrect. I'm not an expert on Binance Smart Chain, but a lot of them are very at least architecturally extremely similar models with different angles on a couple of interoperability features, like say Cosmos, right? So anyway, it looks like the merge IAM for IAM didn't help with gas fees, and we were told this early on that even Vitalik said that the fees won't be improved after. So you're thinking, okay, so I guess if you go to proof of stake, you're better for the environmentalists. Maybe using less energy, maybe it's easier to run a node. Okay, it's all fine. It's not a bad thing for sure. I don't agree with a lot of the people that think that proof of stake is a massive security risk. I think there's different security risks, and there are different angles on how you can approach those. So I'm not worried about that. Who knows? Depends on how they modeled stuff. I bet they did a decent job. But Vitalik himself said the gas fees wouldn't be improved. And you could also tell that from the prior update where instead of improving gas fees, they made gas fees worse by burning, so that not only were the miners being rewarded, but so were the holders, especially probably the big Ethereum Foundation holders, because the supply would be dropped down. So it's a protection on price. Again, number go up. So you think about it, number go up philosophy working itself directly into the protocols. It's bad generally. I hope they stop some of that, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's all the stuff. That's all the updates. Make sure you check out, let's see here. Make sure you check out the merch. So go to Dragonchain.Store, STORE, and there is still a Factor merch special, 10% off all Factor identity stuff, which is Factor-merch-2022, 10% off till the end of the month. And make sure you watch us again next week. We'll be back. Hopefully I'll have my new machine and better audio. Apologies if it's not the best sounding. I'm just on these little headset here. And make sure you follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Rowe on Twitter and elsewhere. Make sure you subscribe, get in on Den, and subscribe to all the right layers. Like, comment, share, everything else. Thanks a bunch. Talk soon.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best. Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. Adaptable approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.